What is up, you guys? Hope you guys have all been doing well and staying safe. Welcome back to another video. So it dawned on me, I haven't done a review in like a really long time on the channel. I've been way too occupied just exposing phony, crappy watch brands and just like news with Rolex, things like that. So today I'm here to review my Rolex 116000. So we'll dive right in. We'll move over to my desk and we'll start taking a look at an in-depth review of the watch. All right, this is the watch in question. This is the Rolex Oyster Perpetual 116000 with the blue concentric dial. Been super excited to have a review on the way for this watch. This is an absolutely stunning piece. So we'll dive into some specs, get you some quick measurements, and then I'll just tell you about how this watch wears day to day. So this watch is fully in 904L stainless steel. It's got a sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating. The crown is the twin lock crown with obviously the Rolex crown on it there, and it is screwed down. So let me just unscrew it. There it is. It's screwed out. And I don't know if you can hear the winding. It's pretty quiet. See if I can get the watch up to the microphone. Yeah, I have no idea if you could hear that or not, but anyway, so there it is. That's how it winds. Really nice winding action, and then you just screw it down for full 100 meters of water resistance, which is pretty standard from Rolex. It's on an Oyster bracelet. Very nice, very comfortable, very sporty looking, and then it's got the Oyster clasp right there. It's just one of those press-in clasps. It doesn't have the flip lock mechanism that comes on some of the other models, but we'll get into the clasp kind of towards the end. The movement is the caliber 3130. They've used the movement on a whole bunch of other Oyster Perpetuals, as well as the 11470 Explorer 1 and the 14060 Submariner, no date, I believe. It's a 31 jewel movement. It beats at 28,800 vibrations per hour. It's COSC certified, obviously, to +2 -2 seconds a day, and it's got a 48-hour power reserve, so not too bad. So let's get into some measurements. I'm going to pull out my my calipers here. So we're looking at I'm gonna have to like get this all to fit on screen here. We're looking at a diameter of 30, just over 30 millimeters. Lug to lug, we are looking at 37 or 38-ish. No, 37. Now, this is the Oyster case, so these things wear large. So like we said, the diameter compared to the lug to lug measurement may have been a surprise. It's just kind of the Oyster case, how it wears. They do always wear larger than they are. This is a 36 millimeter watch. Yeah, so it does wear more like a 38 to a 39, and that's just typical of the Oyster case, which is why in my latest video, when I talked about how Rolex increased the size of the Submariner from 40 to 41 millimeters, I thought that was a bad move because the Oyster case is very substantial. It wears large on the wrist. It does have presence, but at the same time, it's not too overbearing. Lug to lug, we are looking at, you know what's funny is that like I used to watch YouTubers do this all the time, and then I'd see them struggle and I'd wonder why it was so hard, and now that I'm doing it myself, I'm like, holy crap, like this is a lot harder than I thought it would be. So bear with me while I struggle. We're looking at 20 millimeter lugs. There you go, 20 millimeter lugs. So anything 20 millimeters as far as bracelets and straps will be just fine. As far as the thickness of the watch, we are looking at a very slim, hold on, I'm really struggling with this. Well, it does say 6. I mean, I don't know how accurate this thing is, but I just got it actually. 6 millimeters seems very, very slim. But anyway, so that's what it says. The other measurements kind of seem to be seem to be correct for the most part, so I guess we'll trust it. But yeah, so as far as how this watch kind of looks day to day, it's stunning. It really is beautiful. You got that blue center dial that just kind of like has this radiating radial pattern, and you can see kind of the light bouncing off of it. It's very nice. Depending on how bright the light is outside, you're either going to get like kind of a very lightish silvery blue, or it can go all the way to a deep navy. So it really is gorgeous. The crown is, I believe it's I want to say it's white gold. I'm not 100% sure, but it is pretty typical of these watches to be in white gold. You're looking at the 3, 6, and 9 Arabic numerals, as well as the other numerals that are also in Arabic, but they display the seconds of that particular time on the watch. And it's probably going to be very hard to tell, but you can somewhat see there's an engraving on the inside of the watch. It says Rolex multiple times with a little design in between the words. Just a nice little added touch. It gives kind of a little bit of depth and three-dimensional look to the watch itself. This watch, really, honestly, you could really use it for just about anything. It goes really well as a dress watch, really great as a sports watch, again with the 100-meter water resistance thanks to that screw down crown, sapphire crystal. You could take this thing anywhere. I've taken this thing to the beach, I've taken this thing to formal events. It all works very well. One nice thing as well is that the bracelet actually tapers, which again is typical of the Oyster bracelet. So it starts at 20 and then goes down to, I believe it's a 17 or 16, something around then. But it's nice. It gives kind of a more classy look to the watch. It just increases its formality. My one negative with the watch that I was going to mention is this clasp. Okay, so this has no flip lock mechanism, which to me is a bit of a shame. You kind of just pull and release, whereas some of the other watches in this line have an actual flipping mechanism that will flip over once you lock it, and it'll double lock it just to kind of secure it. Again, it's not a sports watch. It's typical to have that on watches that are things like divers, but or even like the Explorer, but it would have been nice to have it on this. It just kind of improves the feeling of safety of the watch in your on your wrist. So it's kind of a shame, I think, that they didn't include that. The clasp does have a really nice action to it, but I think once or twice, maybe if you kind of just have something like your the cuff of your sleeve or something just get caught, it is very easy to disengage. So see, anything can kind of really disengage it. And I believe if you kind of get something jammed underneath the backside here and you pull, it'll equally disengage the watch. See, so you kind of got kind of not so safe zones on both sides of the watch in terms of getting caught on your cuff. It's not the biggest downside in the world, but it is something I figured was worth mentioning because it has happened to me. But other than that, these watches are typically used kind of as one watch collections. So and I think honestly they do that very well. They really are stunning, fantastic to look at. I find myself looking at the time very often when I have this watch on, and that's just to take a look at the gorgeous dial. So I really do like to move the watch around in the light and just see the light play off the dial. Beautiful depth to the watch. It's not too overstated, it's not too understated. It's just the perfect size, being 36 mil with that Oyster case, wearing a little bit large. So yeah, this is definitely an undervalued classic. I really do think that these watches are going to be more sought after in the future, and as of right now, the price they're sitting at, I think it's way undervalued for the value that you get from a watch like this. Everybody's after the subs and the Explorers and things, and people kind of forget about these little Oyster Perpetuals off on the side, which to me is a shame because you get just as much watch. Yeah, I said that right. Just as much watch for you know, about 30% less on the price. So that was the Rolex Oyster Perpetual 116000 with the blue concentric dial. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you guys have any comments on the watch or any questions just about the specs, please leave them in the comments below. I'll try to get to all of them. So that was the video, guys. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and until next time, you guys stay safe.